We are continuing our conversation about content creation, right? We've been talking about content creation. You've been seeing me posting it. I've been posting a lot of tips. You should have been getting emails, or some of you will have been getting emails about content creation, because we have the masterclass that is coming up, right, in a few days actually. But I just wanted to continue the conversation because there's so many things that can be said about content creation, right? And a lot of times when you see these courses popping up, or you see people talking about content creation, we always talk about creating content in advance, right? So you're not getting up every morning and just winging it, right? But before I dive into it, let me know if you can see me and hear me, guys. Tell me you can see me and hear me first, because I'll hate to go through this and then you're not seeing me and hearing me. That would suck. So tell me in the comments if you can see me and hear me, and then we will dive into the systems behind your content creation. Okay, yeah, so that means I'm hearing it, so you should be hearing it. Yeah, yeah, we'll dive into the systems behind your content creation and what it looks like, what that sounds like, what that feels like, um, and all the magical stuff that it entails. Yeah, because the thing is, when we talk about content creation, a lot of times, we talk about creating your content in advance and creating maybe a theme or something with your content. But I want to tell you that there are some other things you need to think about when you're thinking about creating, or when you decide to take content creation seriously. Like all entrepreneurs, we need to take our content creation very, very seriously, right? So for those of you who are here for the very first time, I'm Adanna Austin. I am your business coach and consultant, and I work with high-end entrepreneurs like yourself to get very clear on your goals, identify your ideal clients, and develop those strategies to grow your business. So that's what I do in a nutshell. And a big part of that is making sure that you create content that is going to get you visible, content that is going to, that you can convert into sales, and content that just makes sense, right? Let me make sure it's there first. Yeah, content that just makes sense for you and your audience, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. So I have been talking about content and the different types of content that is out there. And yesterday specifically, I spoke to you about, not having your content all look the same. Not because these gurus are putting out a particular type of content means that that's exactly what you need to do. You need to figure out what content makes sense for your audience, right? Because it's not a one size fits all. Even if you have people in the exact same industry or exact same niche, it is not a one size fits all. Your content has to speak directly to your audience. It has to have your voice, sound and feel like everybody else. It has to be very, very authentic and specific to you. But the other part of the content creation, I think that we don't have a lot of conversations around, is that you need to have a system for your content, right? I'm going to say it again. You need to have a system for your content creation, because yes, you can on a weekend and create 20 pieces of content. You can create content for 30 days, which is something that we'll be doing in the masterclass next Saturday. You can create content for 30 days, and you can schedule those content for 30 days and still get absolutely no sales because you don't have a system with your content, right? Because your content is just random information that you're putting out there. So your content, which forms part of your sales funnel, must be logical. It must tell your clients a story. It must, as I always say, inspire, motivate, and educate your audience. But your system has to include your call to action. What do you want people to do specifically after they have come in contact with your content? Whether it's a blog, whether it's a video, whether it's your email, what exactly do you want to do? What is the system that you have in place for them to engage with your content, right? Because that's a big part of your system, right? You also have to figure out, okay, what is my system to get my content in front of the right people? Which platforms am I using? What am I posting organically and what am I automating? Because you can mix it up. When am I going live? When am I sharing pre-recorded? When am I sharing behind the scenes? When am I sharing testimonials? When am I sharing, when am I selling, and when am I just having a conversation, right? Because you have to have a system. There has to be a system with your content creation, how you create the content, as well as how you share the content and where you share the content, and what you want people to do once they engage with the content that you're putting out. So I really, really want to dispel this notion that once I create content, once I automate it, I can just put it out there and walk away, right? And I'm going to get thousands of sales, because it does not happen like that, right? It really doesn't happen like that. You have to have a system behind your content, and a system that is going to be consistent, guys. Not a system that you just do 1 week and then throw your hands in the air and say, well, Adanna, it's not working, right? It has to be a consistent system that you have in place, so that you can actually reap the rewards of the content that you are putting out. And when you talk about system, the system also includes creating those visuals that make sense for you, right? And visuals that draw the, or make a connection between your written words and what you're selling, right? It has to be connected, guys, right? You don't want to just go online with these free online templates and just choose random pictures, right? You want to make sure that there's a system, right? You want to make sure that your content looks a particular way, it sounds a particular way. So for example, when my VA and I are doing any kind of content, we choose particular types of images to go with particular types of content that we share. We also want to make sure that most of my content is branded, right? The majority of my content is branded. You're going to have my logo, or you're going to see my brand colors, because anybody looking through my content on my social media, on my blog, even my podcast, any of those things, you would see that there is continuity with my color schemes, with the type of fonts that I use, with the types of images that I use, even consistency with what I say and how I introduce myself in videos or in emails or in blogs and that kind of thing. So all of that forms part of your content system, right? So your content is not just choosing a theme or a topic and throwing it out to your audience. You want to think about all of these systems that you need to put in place in order for your content to be most impactful for your business and also for your audience, right? Because remember, people are bombarded with so much information, right? On their phones, on their laptops, in emails. There's so many podcasts out there. It's so much information out there. So you want to make sure that the content that you're putting out is something that is going to jump out to your audience. It's going to make them say, oh my gosh, yes, 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 I want to read this thing. I want to watch this video. I want to listen to this podcast. So you want to pay close attention to the type of content that you put out, and then the systems that you have in place for people to engage with your content and then move it forward. Guys, that is how you change, you convert content into sales, right? Because that's the number one question I get asked, right? So then I'm putting out all this content, but I'm not getting sales. You're not getting sales because you have no system behind your content. You're just throwing out information. You're using the exact same image every single day. You have no call to action. Your images and your messaging sounds like everybody else, right? It does not sound authentic. Everything is automated, so there's no organic engagement with your audience, and you're only sharing one type of content, so you're not mixing up the type of content that you're sharing. All of that is part of the system of content creation. And I think that is where a lot of entrepreneurs kind of drop the ball, because there's not a lot of conversation around the system of content creation, just about create content for 30 days or create enough content for 90 days. Yeah, you can create all of it all you want, but without a system in place, you're not going to get the sales. You're still not going to get the engagement. You're still not going to get the type of results that you ultimately deserve, right? Which is people engaging with your content every day, people clicking on your link, people reacting to your videos, people following your blog, people listening to your podcast, people tuning in when you get featured on radio or TV or something like that, right? So what is your system?